Война, война, война.
Why is Russia's Putin so focused on Ukraine? Ukraine has become the main flashpoint in Russia's relations with the West, after a series of tough statements from President Vladimir Putin and a build-up of tens of thousands of Russian troops near its border.
If Russia further invades Ukraine, there will be significant costs and consequences.
Russia will be held accountable if it invades.
The risk of a conflict is real.
This is an extremely dangerous situation. We're now at a stage where Russia could at any point launch an attack.
Here are 3 reasons why Putin feels so strongly about Ukraine and has chosen to bring the crisis to a head. With the 1991 breakup of the Soviet Union, Russia lost control of 14 former republics it had previously dominated. But the loss of Ukraine was the bitterest pill. Many Russians feel a connection with Ukraine that they do not feel towards other former Soviet states. The two had been linked since the 9th century and speak closely related languages. Putin has said Russians and Ukrainians were one people who shared a single historic and spiritual space. Since the Cold War ended, NATO has expanded eastwards by taking in 14 new countries, including states that were once in the Soviet Union. For Russia, this was a threatening encroachment towards its borders.
Так серьезную озабоченность вызывает наращивание непосредственно у российских границ военной группировки США и НАТО.
While Ukraine is not a NATO member, it has a promise it will eventually get to join. Since toppling a pro-Russian president in 2014, it has moved closer to the West and staged joint military exercises with NATO. Putin says Ukraine's growing ties with the alliance could make it a launchpad for NATO missiles targeted at Russia. He wants security guarantees from the West, including the rescinding of NATO's membership promise to Kiev. As a leader who tolerates virtually no domestic opposition, Putin has a strong aversion to revolutions in neighboring countries that could encourage protests in Russia. Ukraine is potentially threatening for Putin if it inspires Russians with a pro-Western vision. Keeping the West guessing about a possible invasion of Ukraine has put Russia high on the international agenda and forced US President Joe Biden to re-engage with Putin in a video call in December. In a recent interview, Putin mourned the collapse of the Soviet Union as the demise of historical Russia. Some analysts argue such statements suggest Putin sees Ukraine as unfinished business and wants to follow the seizure of Crimea, which boosted his popularity in Russia, to bring part or all of Ukraine back under Moscow's rule.